Perfect. So we're recording, and I wanted to welcome everybody on the call tonight. I know we have some from Marianne's team and our team together, and I just wanted to take a moment to introduce this amazing girl. We had the opportunity to meet each other in person. Before that, it was social media at convention, and we had dinner together, and she just became one of our own, and we're so excited that she's here tonight to pour into us and to share what has worked for her and to talk a little bit about her story. So I will let her take it away.
Thank you, Nicole. And I am very honored and appreciate you asking me to do this. And it was an absolute blast meeting you and your team in Las Vegas. So instant friends. I just love you guys. I'm going to tell you a little bit about just my personal health testimony and what brought me to Plexus, and then I'll kind of go into when I decided to work the business. But the past few months have been kind of a whirlwind, to be quite honest with you. I did not set out intending to work this business. I said, I'm just going to take these products. I'm just going to sign up to give them wholesale. So the past few months has definitely been a whirlwind. But it didn't take me long until I started feeling a lot better. So I had suffered with Hashimoto's autoimmune thyroid disease for years before I found Plexus. I was working with a naturopathic doctor, and I was taking hundreds of dollars worth of supplements every single month, along with my medications. And I was still suffering with a lot of thyroid symptoms. I also had quite a bit of excess weight that I could not get off despite hiring personal trainers, doing paleo, Whole30, autoimmune protocol, all kinds of different specialty diets and hardcore exercise. So the weight still would not budge. I would lose this and gain the same 5 pounds over and over again. And then you had mentioned earlier today when you were talking to your team that I have known Cody since high school. And so he reached out to me over Facebook. And honestly, I had not paid too much attention to his Plexus post before because I was not Facebook friends with his wife, Jen. So I didn't really know what all this Plexus stuff was. He would make a comment about it every once in a while. And I just kind of thought it was like Advocare, it works or something. Well, one day he messaged me and said, I really think this might help you. And I was like, yeah. Well, I'm kind of a supplement snob. So I'm going to have to take a look at the ingredients. I'm already taking all this other stuff. And so to make a long story short, when I took a look at the ingredients, I realized there was that 60-day money-back guarantee. I said, I have nothing to lose. So might as well give it a try. There's not a meal replacement program. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I'll check it out. And within a matter of weeks, my brain fog lifted dramatically. And it was like a veil had been lifted. I could think clearly again for the first time in years. And then after that, my energy levels just started leveling out, and I no longer needed extra sleep in the morning or that urge to take an afternoon nap. And my sugar cravings that I had been dealing with my entire life completely resolved. And that was an ongoing battle. So that was a very important part of this to me because my mom's side of the family has a very strong family history of type 2 diabetes. So that was another thing that had intrigued me about Plexus. And then it was just kind of like gradually just everything started getting better. I just started feeling better. I had many, many, many emotional moments where I would just break down in tears with my husband, and we would talk about just the changes that were occurring in my body and my brain. And I was like, this is amazing. I've got to do something with this. I've got to tell people. And so it was February 1st that I decided that I was going to tell everybody about Plexus. I made it the intention to sometime this month, I'm going to start working this like a business because I want to reach as many people as I can. I knew nothing about network marketing. I don't have any I sold Scentsy for a little bit of time, but just for a discount on the product. And I didn't really have any network marketing experience at all. So I dove in head first. I bought a new computer. I made it Plexus Red. I had to get a new phone. I made it Plexus Red. Every step that I took, I opened up a checking account, and I said, and I hadn't even made my first paycheck yet, but I said, this is going to be my checking account for my Plexus business. It's going to have money in it. Like, I will have money to work this business. So I took steps, and everything I did it with intention. I remember telling the guy at the bank who set up my account, about how when because I had got my success kit, and I looked at the Learn to Earn book, and I thought, okay, this is different. Like, I've not seen something like this. And I didn't have a lot of experience in network marketing, but I had looked at other companies' stuff, and I was like, wow, those people get paid in product, or, they have all these really crazy requirements. And I was like, this is kind of different. So I was telling that, to the guy who opened my account at the bank, and I remember him just kind of laughing. And I could see it, like, yeah, okay, well, you're one of those girls that's going to think you're going to turn this into a business, And, but I did. I decided, I committed. And from that day forward, I have worked this business every single day. I think I've taken one day off. Now, I'm still striving for that life-work balance. I have had some moments of overwhelm, but when you're driven from a place of a passion of wanting to help other people, it really doesn't feel like a job for me. So I want to be available to my team if they need me, or to people who have questions. So I've just kind of taken it every day since February 1st, one day at a time, and just working with intention and visualizing. Like, I end every day visualizing myself as, right now I cannot conceive of anything past Emerald. So that's my visualization, is me as Emerald. And I go to bed at night, and it's part of my bedtime routine. I have been watching YouTube videos from, several network marketing professionals out there. That helped me a lot. So I didn't want to rely on my upline or on anybody else to train me. I said, this is, I've got to do this in my own way. I've got to figure out what this is all about. So I got books, how to develop my leadership skills. And I started watching YouTube videos. I watch YouTube videos still every single day. There's so many great resources out there that from Jewel ambassadors who are putting this information out there step by step, how to achieve our goals. And it's just silly if we don't take advantage of that. So, you can watch a video and something might not click with you, but the next one, you might have this this light bulb moment. And I have had many of those just watching other people's YouTube videos. And then, using their tips and reaching out to people and how to follow up. And, I just dove in and I just started educating myself. So I was silver, I think it was in my first month. And then I hit gold right before convention. So about the middle of May. And I wasn't really, I wasn't following a strategy. I wasn't following a plan. I'm really bad at setting goals. I'm the kind of person who is motivated intrinsically. And when I set those like specific goals, I get too bogged down in the details instead of just enjoying the process. So for me, it's just been more about just enjoying the process, just building those relationships with people, letting them know that I genuinely care about their struggles and what it is that they're needing help with. and just staying in very close contact with them, because this is a service industry that we are a part of. We are providing a service and helping people reclaim their health. So I treat it like a service industry business. I treat them like clients. I check in with them often. I help them troubleshoot, and I'm just there for them. And Matt keeps telling me I need to develop office hours because that can get a little 24/7, but it's what drives me. So is hearing those testimonies and getting that positive feedback and is what drives me. So early on in the beginning, I would get really frustrated. I would compare myself to, I started following other Plexus ambassadors really quickly to kind of see what they were doing. And I would just see these absolute rock stars who were just taking off, going fast track gold and, emerald in a year. And I'm just like, oh, I can't do this. I had all those moments of, I can't do this. I don't have that kind of personality. I don't have that kind of energy. I don't know that many people. I'm not an influencer. I had all these thoughts and these negative doubts in my head. And so that really kind of got me down for a little bit at first. And then I realized that you cannot compare yourself, because what one person has, no two people are the same. And your network, you might not be what is a typical influential person, but in your network, if you are a people person, if you are a relationship person, if you care about others, that is your influence. So we all have our own influence within our own networks. We also all have our own strengths. We all have our own different personalities. And the important thing is just to be genuine, just to be who you are. I can't go out there and put on a fake front and try to be this super bubbly personality that I'm not, and then think that I'm going to attract all these people to me, because it just doesn't work that way. People will see right through that. So you have to just own who you are, and just be willing to be vulnerable and be genuine and say, if you don't know something, you don't know something, but you can find out. If you don't have an answer, it's okay. People understand that. Nobody's expecting you to be the supplement guru just because you're selling supplements, because you're helping them, guide them towards the products. I mean, there's so many people who have gone so far in this company and they didn't think that they could, because they compared themselves to others in the beginning of their journey. And what every single one of those people had to do at some point was to stop that. They had to stop that comparison. So I'm probably rambling a little bit here.
No, it's amazing. Keep going.
So, just building those relationships and being of service to other people, and just working your business with intention every day, day in and day out. Figure out what your why is. I mean, we hear it all the time, but a lot of people don't ever truly take the time to do that, to figure out why it is that they want to work this business. Are you driven by the idea of helping thousands of people change their lives like I am? Does that drive you? Does that make you want to cry? Are you driven by helping relieve your family's financial burden of debt? Helping put your kids through college debt free? That's also part of my why. And so you just have to really do the digging and figure out what it is that is driving you to work this business. Why do you want to do it? And just don't lose that focus. So a lot of people skip that step. A lot of people also, I'll be honest, you have to have initiative. You have to be the kind of person who's going to go out there and find the information for yourself. who's going to teach yourself how to work this business. You cannot depend on your upline, because chances are your upline is going to be busy. And if you're sitting there and waiting for them to get back to you with an answer or to tell you what to do, you are going to miss the opportunities that are going to build your business. So you have to just jump first and ask questions later. There's very few ways to screw this up. And I think people get scared and they feel like, well, I'm going to recommend the wrong product. Well, if you do that, Plexus is going to give your client or your ambassador their money back. So we can fix it, you know. Or if you go, I get a lot of how do I join? How do I help somebody join? How do I help somebody buy? And what that tells me, so when I'm getting these kind of questions from my team, that tells me that they haven't actually gone through the website and looked at the process. So get on your personal retail website is one of the first things I tell people to get on your personal retail website as if you're a customer, and then you can see. Lately, I've had to do a lot of helping people over my mobile phone. I'll have to put them on speakerphone. I'll have to help them. Just at my new customers, because I get a lot of people, and that's my next point too, is the telephone. But I get a lot of people who want me to help them get that initial order in. So the telephone has been, I feel like, absolutely crucial in getting to where I've gotten so far. If I send somebody a link to my website, 9 times out of 10, those people don't order and they don't join. If they do, it's because I've had to follow up, and just kind of continue figuring out, like, why haven't they got this order in yet, you know, which takes a lot of our time and a lot of our effort. But if I can set up an appointment with somebody and get them on the phone, I can close that. Most typically that night or that day, or at the very latest, we'll have to set up another phone appointment to actually close that. Because people, they often need to hear the explanations in your voice. They need to hear the passion in your voice. They need to hear why it is that you are so convinced that these products are going to help them. And that is absolutely impossible to explain over text. So the phone has been really critical in, I feel like, in getting me the client base and the team that I've had so far. So I do, I post a lot on Facebook, and I will occasionally throw my link out there, because there are those kind of people that you'll never get on the phone. And I used to be one of those kind of people. So before Plexus, I was very, very telephone reluctant. It was impossible. You can ask my mother-in-law. It was impossible to get me on the phone. I do not like talking on the phone. I didn't. Now I do. I really enjoy it, because now I'm more into that phase of my life where I'm building relationships with people naturally. Thanks to Plexus, it's really impacted my life in that way too. So yeah, and I'm going to look at my notes here, because I have talked about a lot of stuff. And stop comparing to others, visualize your achievements, work your business with intention. And when it comes to the building of the relationships, I'm sure most people have probably heard this phrase, but it's one that I take to heart. And I remember every time I have an interaction with a potential. And that is that people do not care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that is absolutely true. They really don't. They want to know that your recommendations are coming from a place of genuine concern for their health and well-being. I turned down other companies in the past who friends had approached me with their products, because I would tell them I have this autoimmune issue, or I'm breastfeeding, or this or that or the other thing. And I would straight out get answers that were kind of crazy, like, well, this will cure that. You know, you won't have this problem anymore. Or this is 100% safe for breastfeeding, even though, like, they didn't know that. They were just going off of rumor or hearsay. So I take a different approach with my people. When I get questions like that, I say, here is what I know about this ingredient, or here is what I have read about this ingredient. I'm happy to also find out more information for you and give that to you so that you can make an educated decision, because I want you to feel 100% comfortable with what you are choosing to put in your body. And I have gotten a lot of crunchy clients because of that approach, because nobody likes being told. Anybody who's asking those questions does not want to hear with 100% certainty from a network marketing professional that yes, these products are the answer. Yes, they are 100% safe. If they're asking that question, they have those reservations. So what they're looking for is information. They actually don't want an answer from you. They want information so that they can make that decision. So for the most part, that's just a little something that I learned along the way too. So they don't know how much, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And it's, let me see, planting the seeds. That was one of the next things I was going to talk about. So I plant seeds every single day, and I reach out to people on occasion. I don't do a lot of cold messaging yet, not in this phase of my business. But what I do is I start to build those relationships. If I see somebody who's really struggling and I know that they would benefit from Plexus, but I haven't talked to them since high school, I am not going to send them a message and say, hey, I have this stuff. I saw your posts. You know, I care about you, so I want you to take a look at it. Because they're going to be sitting there saying, you care about me? Like, we haven't spoken since high school, you know? And so that's not my approach. My approach is I reach out to them and say hi. I reach out to them and ask them how things are going in their life. I interact more on their Facebook page. I get them to interact with me a little bit more, and then they are approaching me. It takes very little amounts of time before those people are messaging me and saying, okay, so I've been watching your Plexus post. What's this stuff about? And never once did I bring that up to them. Now, is that appropriate for every single situation? No. Because if I have a relationship with somebody and I've been keeping in touch with them, you bet. If I will be the first one to bring it up. That doesn't bother me because they know I care. They already know that I care. So planting those seeds every single day. Some people are going to sit back and they're going to watch you forever. They're going to watch you for what seems like forever, for years. And we have to tell ourselves that in the slow times, because like your guys' team has been amazing, exploding in June. That is amazing. It's not been that way for me. June has been my slowest month. And I've been sitting here racking my brain and wondering why. We have all these new products, these new enhancements. Everything is just, I mean, I feel like positioned for huge growth. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, this is my slowest month. But Cody said something to me. He said, in the very beginning, you got your risk takers on board. So I had a really fast start to this business. And I got a lot of people who were they had been watching me talk about health and wellness for a long time. They were ready to jump on board. Or they knew who I am, and like they knew who I was. They knew that I take this stuff seriously, that I do my research. They were ready to jump on board. So those people kind of adopted right away. They jumped in with me. And the others have been a lot slower. And now I feel, June has been a little bit of a valley for me. So what I've had to remind myself is we're going to have those peaks and those valleys. In every business, you have peaks and valleys. Your peak might match up with somebody else's valley, or vice versa. Like, you could see another team having massive explosive growth, but you are stuck in a valley. And that can be really, really frustrating. And so that goes back to that comparison, because you have your own timeline for how this business is going to go, and your network has their own timeline. Every single person in your life has their own timeline. Somebody might really, really need Plexus right now, but this just isn't the right time for them for whatever reason. So you don't walk away from them. You just continue to drip. You just continue to water that seed. And when they are ready, they will come to you. They will let you know when, okay, now it's the right time. So I have definitely had some people I've had to follow up with. They say that it takes an average of what, is it 7 times?
I think so.
Yeah. So I've definitely had those people. And when I get to about that 7th time and they still haven't told me to go away, I will throw some humor in there. This last one I said, so do I have to throw in a puppy? And that was what got her to order.
That's awesome.
So I really, not that I actually threw in a puppy, but it was just, she's like, okay, this girl's been really patient. She's been really trying to get me to do this. And I've been thinking about it for a long time. Okay, I'm finally ready. So those follow-ups are so important because they say that most people actually will stop after like the 3rd follow-up. People won't keep going back to the same person because they feel like they're bothering them. And what I had to realize, and I realized it very quickly when the products worked for me, was you're not bothering anybody. If you're bothering them, they're going to tell you. You're not bothering them, you're leading them to something that could change their life. So if they start taking these supplements and their health turns around, are you going to feel like you bothered them? No, you're not. It was because of you and because of your tenacity and because of your willingness to continue to very gently nudge them in the direction that all of a sudden, months later, they're turning around and they're messaging you, thank you for not giving up on me. I mean, it's a really profound feeling when you know that you're having a direct role in somebody having better health or being able to function better as a mom or a wife, and be a happier person. So if you feel like you're bothering somebody, your belief is not where it should be. Your belief is not up to par. So what you need to do is go back to the basics. Go look around and read the testimonials in the Plexus Journeys group on Facebook. Read testimonials every single day to get your belief up. Talk to other people whose lives have changed from these products, and that will help you get over those feelings of bothering people, because you have to follow up. Like you said earlier today, you cannot just give out samples and leave it up to somebody else. Even people who desperately need these products will often need repeated prompting in order to take that step. So it's not about a sale, it's about a relationship, and it's about getting people's comfort level up to make it happen, to get them off the fence and actually make the decision. So we don't sell and walk away. If you do sell and walk away, that's going to kill your business. I've noticed that, if I get too busy and if I don't follow up with my people, I start getting, doubt starts getting into them, and they might be like going through detox and they're over there sitting there thinking, this stuff isn't for me. They haven't heard from me in 2 weeks and they're sitting there doubting whether or not this is actually going to work for them. And so I messaged them and they're like, well, actually I was about to cancel my order because I wasn't sure if this was normal. And then I'm able to talk them through detox and get them out the other side. So those follow-ups, if you're having people drop off, reach out to them before they drop off. Don't wait until they drop off and then say, hey, what happened? We have to keep in contact with our clients and see how they're doing. So I think it's really, for the most part, what I had. It's been the one integral part of my success has been my cousin. She is my primary leg, and she is amazing. She's a salon owner, so she owns her own business. She has an entrepreneurial spirit, She does not do the majority of her business on Facebook like I do. Our networks are completely different. She is a stylist, so she has people in her chair all day long. So that's when she talks to them. And she is building her business because she's becoming a product of the product. She feels better. Her energy, her mood, her just outlook on life is so much brighter. People see that change in her. And so she's getting people in person talking to them about the products, and that is how she's building her business. So she has got, I would not be at Gold if it wasn't for her efforts and what she's been doing. And so it's important to find, I would tell you, you can build a wide team and hope that you get some rock stars. But if you've got somebody that's close to you that is interested in working this business, partner up with them. Her and I talk on the phone almost every single morning. We check in with each other, just a quick phone call. And, not just about Plexus, but just about life. But Plexus often comes up. And so we'll talk, we'll talk about, how to respond to this or how to respond to that, or what do we do with this team member over here who says she wants to work the business, but she just doesn't seem like, she's comfortable. So how can we help her get more comfortable? So we'll bounce ideas off of each other. And also, you have somebody to vent to without venting to your whole team, because we all get those moments of frustration, like, oh my gosh, the back office, oh my gosh, customer service. And so, you have somebody like a dedicated person who understands that these are the intricacies of business, and this doesn't mean that you don't love your business. And so you can vent to that person and get it off your chest and go be that positive person for your team. So I think that finding like an accountability partner or somebody to run with is really important to make that transition from silver to gold and above, So I've got several great team members, some of them are just now starting to get interested in working in the business, but it's definitely been a longer process for them than it was for her, because she started with me in February, and she was one of the very first people I talked to about the business side of it, because I know she owns her own business and she understands how that works. And talking about the business is something that is still a bit uncomfortable for me, because I'm more focused on the health and wellness side. So the important thing is to get yourself out of your shell. So like for me, for example, I know that that's a challenge for me. So I go out there and I search for other ambassadors who are really good at talking about the business, and I try to learn from them. And to be coachable, because that's something that Cody talks to me about on occasion too, is talking about this business side of things. And he's, letting me know that, in order to attract business builders, a lot of times you're going to have to talk about the business. So you talk about what you want to attract, so I am constantly talking about health and wellness. I have a team full of people who are focused on health and wellness and are motivated just like I am intrinsically by the desire to help other people, because that's what I talk about. So if you talk about, to bring that balance, if you want more business builders attracted to your team, you also have to talk about the business, the fun trips, the incentives that we earn, the things that are competitive and fun. And, so not saying that the people who are focused on health and wellness can't be business builders. Obviously, that's not the case. But to just try to attract a wide diversity of people to your team, it's important to talk about like all the different aspects, including the ones that we aren't comfortable with. So personally, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I think that's awesome, Miriam, because I think that our team, I know especially, we're all, and I started this way, we're all so product driven because the products changed our lives, that talking about the business is something completely foreign, or has been or was. And it's a lot more, even though we know the ins and the outs, it's a lot more difficult to bring that up, because you don't want, I know it's a fear for some people, not wanting people to think like, oh, you want me to do this because of,
yes.
And so I think that that's really important about you're going to attract what you talk about and what you share. And so I think that pushing past that fear of not being scared, they said, like, if you post a picture of sitting out by the pool and working, even if it's on a weekend, if you're working a full-time job, just having somebody's going to be scrolling, sitting in their cube, looking at that, being like, that's awesome. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that looks, how can I do that? Like, how and I just think it's important to talk about that aspect a lot, because you're right. I mean, I was definitely product driven.
And we want to change lives, and we know that the business opportunity changes lives too. Mm-hmm. I've read the stories of people who have gotten out of massive amounts of debt and changed their life. Chris and Susie McCall, they have a very inspirational story about the business side. Mm-hmm. It's definitely a comfort level. It's definitely a fear, because you don't want anything to take away from your legitimate, from your genuine caring about people. You don't want anything to possibly affect how others perceive you and think that you're not genuine because you're over here talking about money. So it's like that fear. But we have to push past the fear. Mm-hmm. Like, to go far in this business, you have to push past the fear. So I was telling you in Vegas, like, there's been people that I've messaged that I was very nervous to, people who I've been very close to, but I was still nervous to talk to them about this. So I would type out this big, long message, and I would just like hesitate and not send it. And so I would just close my, literally just do this and hit send and just sit back and be like, okay, it's done. What's done is done. I would just have to do it. And I've never had a single negative result from that. And so I had to do that several times in order to get out of my shell. Mm-hmm. There is Mel, what is her name? Mel Williams, I think. She has a TED Talk. It's called How to Change Your Life in 5 Minutes. And it talks about getting out of your own way. And when I first started this in February, I listened to this TED Talk over and over and over again. And I saw it was an interview. I want to see, is it Mel Williams? I really need to know what, I'm really blanking on
this up now. I'm excited.
But I know her first name is Mel. And so it's a strategy that she has. And she literally talks about how she used this strategy to trick her brain to change her life. And it was very effective TED Talk for me. So I would recommend that anybody who is struggling with fear or hesitation in talking to people, like you just don't, scared of bothering people, scared to jump in, to watch that. And I think it might be eye-opening, because it really was for me.
I'm gonna search for that for sure. I love the fact that you just woke up one day and decided to work this business. Like, I love that. I mean, I think it's different for everybody. Some people it just kind of happens, or their friend asks them. But to have that intention and to decide and to have those things so strategic, like the color of your computer, the color of your phone, I love that. And I think it's all a part of even your brand and how it reflects. I mean, if you guys don't see Marianne on Facebook, you should become friends with her and follow her, because it's awesome. And she has, her hashtag is Healthy by Hines. And I think that's brilliant. I think it's brilliant. I mean, you are literally marketing yourself in a way to attract people to you. And, I think when it comes down to the products that we have, I mean, it's starting to get to now where we're not hunting for people. People are going to be hunting for us to really feel how they feel and feel better to use these products. But when you have something like that where they can follow you and your people are probably watching you all of the time, like thinking how positive you are, and they want to do what you're doing. So I think that that's brilliant. So become friends with her if you're not.
And that's, and I started that Instagram page because I started watching YouTube videos on attraction marketing. Mm-hmm. And I realized I do have a niche. Like, everybody kind of has a niche. Some people might not think that they have a niche, but they do. They just have to figure out what it is. So, some people are homeschool moms. Some people are into photography. Some people are into the crunchy community. Some people are really into fitness. Everybody has, some people, some of us are just moms. We're just stay-at-home moms, like trying to figure out this whole parenthood thing. And everybody really has this niche. And so try to figure out what it is and what are your hobbies, what are your passions, and present them more to the world. Let the world know more about who you are, and that is attraction marketing. So that's very important, and there's a lot of YouTube videos out there on how to provide a service outside of your business. And your service can be something very small. For me, it's seriously like little ideas about food sometimes, or just helping people with other supplements in their life, because that's an area of mine that I've researched for a long time. I don't advertise that, but I do that privately. And but there's like just providing a service outside of Plexus, and it can be anything, just passing along information, just adding value to somebody's interaction with you. That has nothing to do with Plexus.
I love that.
That's attraction marketing. And it's Mel Robbins. It's not
Mel Robbins. Okay,
Mel Robbins' 5-second rule is what that is.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down and put this on here. I think one of my biggest takeaways from tonight is you saying that if you feel like you're bothering people, then your belief isn't where it should be.
Yes.
And I think that's so true. I think that kind of what you're saying, I have looked at message threads and I'm looking at it and it kind of makes me laugh. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've sent like 8 and there's been no response. And then all of a sudden the next response is, thanks for not giving up on me. And it's mind blowing to me. It's like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. Because Celeste said this in the Senior Ruby training at convention. She said, think about if Jen Hawkins would have taken my first no. And I was like, that is so powerful and huge, because it's thousands and thousands and thousands of people who wouldn't have had this opportunity, maybe. Because she said Jen reached out to her about 27 times.
Yeah.
And they were best friends, so you can do that when it's your best friend that many times.
Right.
But it just takes, it's all about timing, and it just takes that one perfect moment for them to say, okay, I'm gonna do it.
You just drip. I mean, you just have to drip on them. Some people are just going to take a really long time. And some people when it comes to the business side of this, they are just going to sit back and watch you, because they're so used to seeing people join this company and sell this thing and then turn around and join and sell something else and then sell something else. And they want to know if this is legitimate. And to them, the legitimacy is going to be you sticking with it. Mm-hmm. And because they could, honestly, a lot of people aren't product people. They're not. This is something I've learned that totally was kind of a surprise for me. Honestly, I don't know why. It makes sense, but not everybody cares about ingredients, right? Like, not everybody cares about what is in our products, which is not something I can comprehend personally, because that's not how I am. But so they are attracted to you. They are not buying our products. They are buying you. Mm-hmm. So they're buying your commitment, your devotion, your passion, your belief is what they're buying. So you could tell them anything. They would not care. They don't even want to look at the back of the bag. There's a lot of people like that out there. So always maintain that passion, that belief. If your belief isn't where it needs to be, build it up. If you haven't had your life-changing testimony yet, that's okay, because you've seen that thousands of people have. So read their stories to build up your belief until it happens for you. Mm-hmm. So
I love this. Thank you so much. I mean, this is just a fantastic information. And I know those that weren't able to join us tonight will love to listen to it. But does anybody have any questions?
I feel like I rambled.
Oh my gosh, no, it was amazing. It was amazing. I have like literally, I thought my notebook piece of paper was in here. I have all these like permanent marker that I'm going to start taking. Anybody have any questions? I know your mother-in-law probably already knows how awesome you are, so she's probably. Oh, I think she might be trying to talk. Here.
There, I had to unmute you.
There you go.
I have a question because there's not a lot of us on here, so I can do this. Is anybody else having really a lot of trouble with the new products with the detox?
Detox.
Yeah, Slim for me was tough in the beginning, and I had a dull headache. I was exhausted for like the first week, and then I've been powering through. Vital Biome and X-Factor Plus, I really haven't had any noticeable symptoms, but I know some on our team said that they were really tired.
Oh,
yeah. You've had a lot. You're having a really rough time.
Yeah. I mean, and I was on the old Plexus for 3 months before I started this one, and it's kicking my hiney.
And it's amazing. I've been doing this for 3 years, and the fact to go through die off again, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. Like, you think your gut is as healthy as it can be. Mm-hmm. And we always say celebrate the symptoms, which it's hard when you're going through them, but celebrate it because you know that you're getting even that closer and deeper toward ultimate optimal gut health.
And I've only been doing Plexus for a few, for 5 months now. But I was working on my gut health for 2 years before Plexus. So when I first started Plexus in January, I went through a little bit of a detox, but it wasn't that bad. It was like mid-January when I started the products. And then when I started the new stuff, yes, I went through a solid 3-week detox.
Yeah. Nancy, I was going to say, are you taking the Triplex?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And are you taking Vital Biome?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So what was told to us we had an Emerald, Melissa Shaver, come through St. Louis, and I hadn't even thought about this, but she said that if you are taking like 2 or 3 probio 5s and you're also taking Vital Biome, come down off probio 5. So take one. And you probably are already doing that.
Yeah. I'm texting back and forth this morning. I said, okay, I'm not telling anybody else's, but let's chat because
and that was one of the things I said.
That are not good.
Take that down to 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully you'll power through it really soon, but we'll celebrate it for you until you start.
We don't celebrate. It's just, I'm breaking out with acne again, and at 57, that's crazy.
You know what? That would be a good testimonial. I'm telling you, it might seem crazy, but say it has to come out somehow. I'm glad that
and it would even be more scarier if I really didn't eat good and live a basically clean life. So
yeah,
I hate to see what it would be like then.
You're in a great position to help a lot of people through that in the future.
Oh yeah, it took me one because that's what I said today. I didn't want anybody to really know because I don't want them to think I'm not going to carry through. It's like whoa.
Right. It's eye-opening. I mean, it's amazing how much the Vital Biome especially. I mean, that is one that I'm talking about and sending it to everybody that I know because I feel like everybody could benefit from it.
I wish it didn't have a couple of the things in it that are there though, because it's got like corn and milk and wheat, I think, in it.
Well, it doesn't. It's kind of a tricky disclaimer. So
okay, because I need to know because I have with her fatigue, she really wants to try it, but.
Well, do you want me to address this question here, Nicole?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, some of those bacterial strains have to be cultured on soy or dairy or corn.
Okay.
The bacteria itself is cultured on it, which is contained in a medium. However, it does not contain those proteins. So
okay.
There's a couple of different disclaimers that supplement companies can use for that, and one of them is may contain traces of. The other one is contains. Plexus kind of has a history of going really strong with their disclaimers, just in case, so that if anybody has anaphylactic type allergies, they might want to talk to their doctor about whether or not they can take these probiotics. But I can tell you that for the majority of people, even people with food intolerances or histamine reactions to those foods, they're not going to react to these probiotics because there's no proteins in there. It's not an ingredient in it. It's just a possibility of, we're talking microscopic trace amounts from the actual growth process of the strains.
And that's what I'm hoping, because she really wants to try it, but with her adrenal fatigue so bad, she's just...
She needs to talk to Kristen.
Try it.
So Kristen...
She's doing really good on the ProBio 5 right now. She can do 1 a day.
Yeah.
And it does not irritate her and set her stomach off.
Yeah. And Kristen... Kristen Brookhiser, she was in the same position. She could not have a lot of those ingredients. And so she couldn't even eat rice. I mean, so we talked a lot about, like the products and everything. And she is so glad that she decided to go for it, because now, her issues are really resolved.
Oh, yeah. I know that's helped her immensely. So.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm happy to talk to your potential more in depth about that. Just bring me in on a 3-way chat. So.
Yeah, she will. I'm hoping that we're doing baby steps. We just sent her the pink, so she's gonna try portion and see if it reacts. Because I mean, she lives on hydrocodone when her whole intestinal tract reacts. It's also bad. So she hasn't been able to work for 3 years. So we're hoping this will be some more of the answers that get her well.
Absolutely.
I think if we can get her started, I think she'll have a lot of benefit from it. Well, Nicole,
thank you so much. It was amazing.
It was nice to meet you.
Yes,
nice to meet you. I'll be glad to see y'all when you come to Florida.
Oh my gosh, I know.
She lives down there.
I'm here.
Oh, awesome. I did an internship at Disney in college, so I'm ready to come back.
Oh, yay. Not me. Me tourists.
Yeah. Marianne, thank you so much. I mean, it's amazing, I love, have been doing this as long as I have and learning so much from you. I mean, you have so much to share, and I can't believe that you've only been doing this for like 5 months. That's crazy. Because you are so educated and have so many tips and successes. So I'm so excited that you did this for us tonight. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Have a great night.
All right. Thank you guys so much. I'll upload it and post it on your team page.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.